All right, there we go. Good afternoon. Seemingly OBS did not pick up my mic because I started it before I plugged in my mic, so it didn't pick it up. So I had to turn that on. Anyway, good afternoon. I know it's been a little over what I usually do. I usually record on Sundays, but seemingly I screwed up a little bit this time. But to explain why I haven't been here for like the last 2-ish weeks, 2.5 weeks, almost 2.5 weeks. Excuse me, is basically I've just been having a pretty hard mental health time, and I didn't feel like it was fair to record when I wasn't there entirely. Um, Still not doing great. I'm still struggling quite a bit, but I figure, you know, starting up the show might be pretty useful. So yeah, we're starting up the show today. Um, fingers crossed everything goes well. Well, you might hear my dog walking around. She's here today. She's not usually here on Sundays, but she is here today. So we have a surprise Tuesday show. Just a little more housekeeping. I started working with this company called Kickoff. They are a personal training company. It was just they just have infrastructure and etc. that allows you to train your clients with ease, you could say. So I started working with them. If you're interested in coaching, right, and maybe you don't have a lot of money, but you want like coaching, not just a program, I put the link in the description. You can go there. You can get 25% off. I like it so far, but you have to build up your people there, and I don't want to shift over everyone I'm coaching to a different price and model and everything like that. So, if you want high quality coaching, you can go there. You can find me. The link's in the description. Otherwise, my other links, um, you know, coaching with me, which is a bit more expensive, but I think it's worth it. You have my merch store. You have my blog. And also, I'm working on a book that I will be giving away for free, pretty much to anyone who comes by the channel. It's just going to be a book on how to train very quickly and effectively. Because you see a lot of these videos that say this is how you train in like 30 minutes, but usually they have issues, and training quickly will always have issues. But the issues those videos usually present are you can avoid those issues. So when the book is done, I'm going to have a whole episode on it. But if you want a sneak peek at the video, not the video, if you want a sneak peek into the book, I will be posting that on my blog probably in the next few days. So by the time some of you watch this, it'll already be posted up. I'll also share it around. So if you're from LinkedIn or any of the Discord channels, you'll probably see it at some point. Anyway, today we're going to be moving at a decent pace, just because I don't have a ton of time. I got things I also have to do, but I wanted to do an episode. So, and I started a bit late. So, what I'm thinking is that we go through these two videos. The first video is going to cover Ryan Humiston's Arm Day video, which, of course, if you know me, I have certain issues with Ryan Humiston, and we will be talking about it quite a bit. And then we will cover Obi Vincent's Arm Day, which I am interested in how his Arm Day looks. Both videos have their title and link in the description if you just want to watch it, because here we do a lot of pausing, discussing. We look at form a little bit. I'm thinking about finding a program where I can like draw on it and show where issues are, because right now you just have to follow my mouse and that might be hard. But this is what we have for now, and I will look into it. Also, maybe some of you noticed that I have not updated the older thumbnails, and I need to get around to doing that. That being said, there's other changes I want to make, but for now, we are just going to focus mostly on the videos. We're going to talk about them, we're going to discuss them. I am going to do my best to remain high energy. Not feeling great, like I said, but the show must go on. So let's go ahead and start. So the first video we're going to cover is Ryan Humiston's video. Yeah, I know that's not a super flattering face, but that's fine. Ryan Humiston, he has all the stuff. Here's his comment section. Here's a full description. He has his whole workout right here. We could always come back to reference that. I'm not going to, but if you want to, you could go to the video, check it out, or you could screenshot it right now. If you really like this, you can screenshot it from here, but you're not going to get the breadth of the video from me. I'm going to do a lot of breaking down. We're going to do a lot of discussing, and I mostly pretty much have a little less than an hour and a half, but I do want to do this right. So let's go ahead and start.
All right, today's going to be a little different because the full gym program comes out in 2 weeks, and I thought, why not give people a little preview and see if they actually want to hurt themselves this bad. So here's the day.
I've never been a fan of his terminology about hurting yourself really bad. I get where it comes from. It's fine. I'm just not a huge fan of it.
And it's one hell of an arm day. If you're ready, let's get after it. We're starting off with arm day, and you guys know how I like to theme my weeks, so this one's going to be from the start because you'll see why. All right, we're starting off with rope extensions, and I want you to pick a weight you can roughly do about 30 reps with.
So this is already pretty interesting. So a weight that you can do 30 reps with. A lot of people won't know what that is. So I am guessing, that's a better word, I can say it. I'm guessing that he is working off the assumption that you've already kind of tested what you can do for a high amount of reps. Sorry, moving around in my chair. So let's see where he goes from here.
Fail, you're not going to rest because we're going to turn this to a rest pause all the way to 100. So get about 30, fail, hold in the stretch position, take 5 deep breaths, keep going. Probably get about 20, same thing, fail, do it again, probably get 10, then 8, then 6, and it's going to be a miserable ending.
So let's talk about this first. Okay, so we're doing rest pause to 100. Personally, I think that's extremely excessive. Now, what's rest pause? Rest pause, it comes in many different versions. You have cluster sets, you have myo reps, you have just rest pause like this. Traditional rest pause is basically you have a set amount of reps you're going to do, and you're going to get to that number, but it's going to be a pretty high number. It might be 50. He's going to do 100. I'm going to use 50. Let's say you're doing 50 tricep pull downs. Instead of doing it all at once, because presumably you can't, because that's a lot of reps, and if you are doing it with the amount of weight you can do for 50 reps, you're probably not getting a lot out of it. So you're going to go a little bit heavier, and you're going to do as many as you can, and when you can't do any more, usually when I say your form starts to fail, you stop and you rest for about 10 to 30 seconds. And then you do a little bit more, and you hit that similar breaking point, rest for 10 to 30 seconds, continue until you reach that 50. Now it's really effective. It's better for some body parts than others. It's pretty good for hypertrophy. But I think doing 100 is excessive. Like probably 50 to 60 is fine. Because what would that be? Right? That's like 3 sets of 20. But 100, that's a lot. That's like 4 sets of 25, which isn't like super extreme. You have bodybuilders do that, but I think for rest pause, a set of 100 is pretty excessive.
I want you to focus on tucking those elbows into your stomach, keeping that form nice and tight, and don't worry about turning those wrists out. We'll hit that lateral head soon enough, but really just getting that tricep to fail, not your traps.
That's it. Okay, so he said I've seen part of this video. I had to do a quick prep, so I didn't get to watch the whole thing. So you are getting a pretty fresh reaction from me. But he says focus on getting the tricep to fail rather than engaging the long head. Now, what that means for this is when you do presumably engage the long head of the tricep, you're going to go all the way down, and then you're going to pull the rope apart and try to flatten it parallel to the ground. So, interestingly enough, he's not going to do this. He's going to do partial reps. Now, there's two problems that we're going to see, and I'm going to explain. Also, I didn't mention this before when we were talking about rest pause. It's really interesting that he wants you to rest in the lengthened position. I don't think that's great. I mean, sure, in the lengthened position, you're probably feeling less stressed because you're just holding it. But best faith interpretation is that you're keeping it in the lengthened position to get more muscle damage out of it. Not because this is the easiest position to hold it in. Obviously, if you did that for squats, that'd be at the bottom, and you wouldn't say that's the place you want to rest at. So anyway, let's see. He has music. While I like the music, oftentimes the music is where copyright happens, so we have to pause a lot. Okay, so here's something you're going to notice. He is not consistent with his range of motion, which is never a good thing. Now, is it going to lead to you getting injured? Probably not. No, that's pretty unlikely. But what it will lead to, and this might be more important, is inconsistent progression, right? You might say, oh, well, I got to my 100 reps. It's like, okay, so how many of them were like where your elbow was at like 75% of your full range of motion? You might be like, I don't know. How many of them were at like 50%? Oh, sorry. How many of them were at like 50%? How many of them were at like 60%? And you won't know. So it's like, okay, so how do you count them? Is it just like you're just going for the burn? How do you know how many you did? How do we progress from there? You're just going to add more? Well, what if you add more of the shorter range of motion so they're a little bit easier? And then the next time you do it, you're like, I'm going to add more, and you're curious, why can't I do more than like 105? While that set you went all the way to like 75%. So yeah, it's very important to keep a very consistent range of motion when you exercise. See, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, way down, okay. Oh, that one's short. That's
So when
very
it comes
short.
to training arms, we're
See what I mean? And you could probably say that last one was like a failure rep, like it wouldn't count. But even the one before that didn't reach all the way, and he counted it. So, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. You should have consistent range of motion. And in a lot of rep schemes, reps are your goal. But a lot of them, there's a caveat that's like, if you cannot perform the full range of motion, stop. Like you are not getting the full thing out of it. Now, there are other forms of training where you do the full range of motion, and then when you can't, you shorten the range of motion and you stick to that. And then when you can't, you go a little bit shorter. That's a legit training method. But it's like a you have one step and then the next step and then the next step. Instead of all at once, we're just going to do it until the tricep fails. without paying too much attention to the range of motion. Anyway, let's keep going.
We're definitely going to be doing a lot of cables because to me, it's one of the most effective ways to train them. But we're also not going to sit in front of the machine and hog it the whole time. And that's not because we're not assholes. We don't care about that. It's just there's a lot of other effective exercises with dumbbells and barbells, and that would get boring. So we're going to set up at a 40.
I guess that's a reason. I suppose. But yeah, cables are pretty great. They offer something that dumbbells and barbells can't in some cases, where, like, take the dumbbell pullover. If you do it correctly, you get no resistance when the dumbbell is like right above you. You get it from behind your head all the way up until right above you, and then there's no more resistance. So in that case, a cable would be better because the resistance is going with the cable instead of going with gravity.
45-degree angle, grabbing 2 dumbbells and doing an incline skull crusher. I want you to really focus on the actual movement of your wrist. So as you go back and stretch, force that dumbbell towards your shoulder. As you come up, you flex that wrist as you come up, but don't lock it all the way out. Keep that tension. And then once you fail.
Okay, so this is a very consistent thing with a lot of the videos where he says don't lock out. And a lot of people will say this. They will say don't lock out because you want to keep the tension. You don't want to put too much strain on the joint. However, and this is a big thing, there's a difference between a partial rep and a soft lockout. What's a soft lockout? Well, take your elbow. I want you to go all the way straight with it and lock it out. That's a hard lockout, right? It cannot go any further. Now I want you to take that, it goes slightly, and then bend it ever so slightly. That's a soft lockout. Now, what's the main difference? Well, soft lockout, you still have a little bit of room to go. So your arm's straight, but it's not locked out. It's just straight. And that helps with a lot of the, joint damage you might incur, especially with higher reps. But what it also does is it still gives you the benefit of a full range of motion without losing that tension everyone so loves to talk about.
You're going to sit up, press those dumbbells together, and do a seated French press. And I want you to focus on the initial part of the contraction. So full stretch, halfway up. And if you did that first exercise correctly, you shouldn't have to change.
This is another one where I'm a little bit with, because he's saying do a half rep. Again, if you do a full rep and stop, like soft lockout, you will probably get more benefits out of it. He just loves partial reps, and I have a really big issue with that because he's focusing on the burn rather than, your range of motion. Now, if you do focus on your range of motion, what's going to happen is you won't get as many reps. You're using too much energy throughout the range, but it's overall better. There's so many studies looking at this. Of course, there's not many studies comparing full range of motion to partial range in the lengthened position, but I don't think the lack of studies is where we have one that shows that in the lengthened position, partial reps can produce more hypertrophy, but it's only one study. It's nothing. It's basically nothing. It could be a fluke. We'd have to do more research on that topic. Like, reproduce that study, change this variable, change this variable, change that variable. Maybe even say change the comparison groups. Look at it in different exercises, and so on and so forth.
Wait, it should be the perfect amount to kick your ass on both of these.
Okay, so this one isn't terrible. He could still wait 1 second. Yeah, this one I can't get it. Hold on. Okay, there we go. This isn't terrible, but he still has like a good range of motion to go before his elbows are locked out, I think. Maybe, yeah, he has a few degrees he could continue to go, so I'm not super happy with this. Okay, I do not like this at all. Like, okay, check this out. So we're going from here all the way like here. So the range of motion is like right here. And he could go all the way up and soft lockout. He could do a full lockout. But yeah, this is just incurring lactic acid within the muscle. Which, does correlate with hypertrophy and strength gains. But you could probably get more out of it if you do the whole range of motion. So yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of the partial range at the top. I guess at the bottom, because the top would be up here, but he's focusing around the bottom.
Oh, look, we're back at the cables. All right, now we're going to really attack that lateral head by doing a compound set with a cable French press, bring it all the way to the top, leaning slightly forward, and doing an overhead extension. And the two biggest notes on the
Compound set? I wonder if he means a superset, because compound set's a little bit interesting of a term, since, a compound exercise would be many muscle groups being worked together, while a superset is you're working one movement and then the other movement consecutively.
these is make sure you pronate that hand as you come up or turn that shoulder in, whatever physiological trigger you need to tell yourself not to screw these up. And second thing is we're doing a full range of motion. So full stretch all the way up.
I appreciate this, right? Even though I don't like his methods, I think the partial range of motion on a lot of his exercises is lame at best. I do appreciate that he is encouraging a full range of motion on some exercises. It could be a lot worse. He could be Holly Doak. So, thank you, Ryan.
I might stop a little short of lockout, but I don't know until I start to do these. Whatever gives me the best connection. So same for you. If you lock it out and you feel better, do that. If you stop a little short and that gives you a better connection, do that.
Oh, I do like this exercise. Yeah, I really like that one a lot. Yeah, this is a superset. He's working pretty much the same plane of motion, like twice. There's not much to say here. It's just he's working two exercises that work the triceps in a very similar plane of motion. So that's pretty much fine with me. There's no big deal there.
All right, we're going to finish off those triceps with a close grip bench. And we're going to put on a weight we can do about 20 reps with and slow it to a crawl. 5 count negative, 5 count positive. And whether you have access to a regular Olympic bench or just an adjustable one like I do inside a rack, you still want to sit in it backwards because you're going to fail. That's the goal. So at that last rep, be able to just chuck that weight off of you and rack it will save your life.
I don't agree with that, but not what he was saying. Just I don't know. I mean, I guess the weight's pretty light, and having it right there just means you can push it forward instead of leaning back with it. So it's a little interesting to me. I don't, and if anything, I don't like the bench position. I wish he'd get it under his hips, like scoot it all the way in, and bench like that instead of like having it in a normal bench position while having your glutes and legs unsupported. I think that's terrible. But as far as the extremely slow close grip bench, it's not like super beneficial. It's not super like terrible. It's just when it comes to tempo exercises, they don't really offer any more benefit than any other thing, right? If you did this at full pace, That's also fine. What matters is how close to failure you get. So doing something tempo, you'll get close to failure in less reps, not so much because you're working so much harder, it's because you're tiring out faster within those shorter amount of reps because you're working your muscle through a longer period of time. I'm not gonna lie though, this does look like fun. Like I would enjoy doing this, I think. Okay, he's not touching his chest, and some people can't. That's not a big deal. But honestly, here's what he could. If he widened his hands just a little bit to like shoulder length, shoulder width, just shoulder width, he could probably touch his chest and get a better range of motion doing that. And I wouldn't exactly call this a bench press, a close grip bench press. This is like you're almost bench pressing, but you're almost JM pressing. So I don't know. Yeah, his hands are too narrow. I have a feeling this is hell on his wrists.
This arm day is rough. I bet you I'm gonna have one person quit on day one. Last course I had somebody buy it, watch all the videos, and then email me and say, this isn't what I thought it was gonna be. What did you think? I was gonna tell you to twist your nipples a certain way and you're gonna start to grow?
As much as this is silly, he does have a point. Sometimes you get a client and, they look at what you have them do and then they're like, oh, this isn't what I wanted. It's like, well, as much as I don't like Ryan's method of training, he has a very certain attitude about him. He's very upfront with what he's going to make you do. I, personally, have a certain personality, and you kind of understand how I'm going to train you. When you are going to get with a trainer, you should understand their training philosophy and how they operate. You going to them and then questioning everything they're doing because this isn't what I thought it was going to be. It's like, well, what did you think it was going to be? That's not to say don't question your trainers, but understand what you're getting into with, certain kinds of trainers. I think that's what I'm trying to say here.
That's not how this works. You can try. So because we don't want your biceps to feel left out, and the theme of the day is fucked from the start, we're gonna throw a straight bar in the cable machine and do the same exact thing. Shooting for 30 reps, don't let go, 5 deep breaths, and just rep it out. Good luck.
Okay, so the whole first half was triceps. Now he's doing biceps. You can see his range of motion getting shorter, but honestly, with bicep curls, that tends to happen, especially when you do a lot. That's why I kind of think 100 reps is excessive. I got to pause a lot for the music.
So I tried to equip this place with stuff that everybody's going to have at their local curves, so there really is no excuse. So for the next one, we're using the preacher curl bench, but we're going to hop on the opposite side, shove those elbows against, grab a nice close grip, push that to failure. Then you're going to hop around the opposite side, take a wider grip, and go right into drag curls.
So he doesn't mention how many reps on some exercises. I think that bothers me a little bit. But yeah, just curls. I really hope he adds some chin-ups in here because that would be very nice. I do like drag curls a lot. They're interesting because you're going against your body. So if you're real fat, you got a long way to go. Huh. But just regular curls, like drag curls, they're pretty fun. I like them. You use your body kind of as a way to keep your elbows from you. You're using your body to keep yourself from swinging, which is a very useful way to, prevent swinging without using a wall or a curl belt thing. I don't know what the curling equivalent of a belt is. Like, I know what it is, I don't know what it's called.
All right, we got 2 more exercises to go, but if you don't feel like you got your money's worth in a molested kind of way, then you're doing it wrong.
Weird joke, but alright. I know what I'm signing up for when I watch around Humiston. Some of you might not.
So grab your easy bar. We're gonna go with the overhand grip, close. We're doing reverse grip curls. Make sure you really flex that wrist on the way up. And then once you fail, flip it over, stay nice and close, rep it out regular curls.
You know, we're doing a lot of curls here, which is fine. We did a lot of tricep extensions on the last half, but just interesting, I would say. Reverse curls are another great exercise, by the way. Really helps with the brachialis, your forearm muscle, one of your larger forearm muscles. I don't think anyone can accuse Ryan of not training hard. Like, again, don't like a lot of his methods, but he does train very hard.
So just like we did for triceps, we're going to end biceps with a 5-count negative, 5-count positive, disgusting exercise. And we're doing it on incline curls, so make sure you keep that shoulder back and out of it.
Oh, man, I wish he did chin-ups. That would have been good. Chin-ups, what's another equivalent? Like rows of some kind. Like a supine row, where you're just dragging it up your thigh and really focusing on your bicep. I think that would have been better to end it off. That way it mirrors the first half more, but I guess we could do more curls. I think that's a little boring, though. I'm a little disappointed in you. Chin-ups, seated, slow seated rows, bent over rows. You missed an opportunity here. Supine rows, by the way.
The arm in a fixed position and just try to slowly squeeze and pop that thing. One more quick note, we're doing this on a pretty extreme angle, so past that typical 45-degree angle with the bench, so put it back 30, 35 degrees, whatever your bench has. You'll know you're on the right track when it just feels awkward, uncomfortable, but your arm's way back behind your shoulder and you're not gonna be able to use much weight.
Yeah, definitely not. This is a lightweight exercise. Also, I don't think I'd ever do this. I have kind of bad shoulders, so this is an exercise I don't think I would do, but I would be willing to try. I just don't think I would want to. I do like Ryan's taste in music. Go slower. Go slower, bro. I know you're dying, but you made this, so go slower. No. Should have gone slower. You're going too fast. You are going too fast, Ryan. You're going too fast. Slow down. Come on, slow down. Slow down on the way down. Come up a little bit slower. I know you're dying, but come on.
Let me end this first day by saying I'm glad you're here. And anybody who goes through this can see why this works, because you got to be a pretty sick individual. And I still don't know the logistics of this, but it would be nice after everybody's gone through it, get together as a community. I vote for the Spearmint Rhino in Vegas. My wife's so sweet, she'd make us little goodie bags. Here's your Get After Get Growing t-shirt. Here's your lifting straps. Here's some Purell, because you never know where their buttholes have been. So if that's the kind of pain
That's funny. Okay, I like that one.
you're into, I'll leave a link below where you can drop your email, and I'll let you know right when the program comes out. And if there's any cheap bastards watching this, don't worry, I got you covered. I'll throw an extra arm day in there, and that way you feel like you got your money's worth. And if you need help with your diet, I'd watch this video next. Also another of my favorites, but most importantly, subscribe. Hit
One of these days we're going to cover these videos. I hope this one's good because it's short, but you never know. Anyway, that's Ryan's video. Let's go to his channel. Now, as much as, like I said, not a huge fan of him, it's still worth being like, this is his channel. Yes, he uses clickbait thumbnails. Look at that. That's clickbait as hell. So clickbait. Yeah, clickbait thumbnails, but what can you do? But yeah, this is his channel. If you like him, subscribe. If you don't watch him through me, because I will cover what he does, not everything. Now, if you want to like get a full breadth of what he does, go to his channel, not me. I I will never be that guy who covers everything someone does. Anyway, yeah, that's Ryan. Let's go to Obi. We're doing pretty good on time. So, yeah. Good stuff. Alright. So let's watch some Obi. Okay. Let me do the introduction. So this is Obi Vincent. Here is his stuff. Here's the workout. If you want to look at it real quick, take a screenshot. Whatever. Subscribe button. All his fun comments. Why is this here? I'm like, this is here. I don't understand. Can I collapse this? Show less. Yeah, I don't understand why the comments is right here, but you can scroll down for more comments. YouTube, this was stupid. Anyway, let's go ahead and start. Again, he has a lot of music, so we're going to do a lot of pausing, but I'm going to try to get this done within the hour. So let's do it. Introductions. Nice. Let's see how long it is, because typically you don't want to go over about 15 seconds for your introduction.
Hello everyone.
13 seconds. Pretty good.
Welcome back to another video.
I'm also jealous of his voice. I don't have a very deep voice. He has a very majestic voice.
And carrying on from the new bodybuilding series, we are doing arms. As always, I am going to run through the workouts, give you all the tips and reasons why I love doing every single one of these exercises.
Why is this here? I'm curious. Anyway, we'll look at the workout one more time. So we have 8 exercises plus a warm-up and a cool-down. So yeah, this is a long one. I wouldn't recommend this. I think that's too much, but to each their own. Let's give it a look.
Just like we did with the back work, if you haven't checked out the back workout, we'll put it somewhere. Also,
I would love to check out your back workout, but if you want to see it, go see it yourself. I covered Obi once earlier. I'll cover him here. Probably be another few weeks before I cover him again. Because I'm going to be honest, I like his stuff. I think his stuff's pretty alright. Yeah, I don't remember any egregious things from his last one we covered. So, let's continue.
I already have quite a few workouts, so make sure you check out the playlist, the bodybuilding playlist, because there's loads of workouts on that as well. So just giving you a more fresher, newer arm workout for 2022. Yeah, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe.
Oh crap, this came out yesterday. That's pretty... I didn't even notice that. My bad. I mean, not my bad, but, you know, let's see what he has to say. I'm really all about it.
Yeah, let's just get on with it.
Curious why he's doing, you know, warm up, banded, bicep curls. I wonder why he's doing the bar and the band. I mean, it's not a problem at all. Just it's a curious decision. Not even like a bad one or a weird one. Just curious. Oh yeah, he has music, so we're gonna have to pause like 85 times. Sorry. Pyramid press, otherwise known as the diamond push-up. I'm starting to think that, like, I think he's from the UK. I'm not entirely sure. But, if he is, a lot of the terminology he says isn't consistent with what I've heard. But, the exercises are the same. I think it's just different names coming from different regions. I think he's British. So, yeah. Just saying. Just something I thought about. Okay, let's keep going. His form right here is stellar, by the way. Elbows tucked, back nice and strong, flat, good stuff. I would like to see his feet all the way together, but it's not like a big deal or anything. He is probably strong enough to put his feet on an elevated platform and turn this into a decline push-up. I would like to see him do that.
Okay, banded bicep curls. I know some of you are thinking, why banded? Why not just go heavier? That's not the point. The point is to create tension. And what happens when you slowly bring that barbell down? Band just wants to pull it down. And by you.
So his idea here is to help you with control, like controlling the weight, showing you have control by going slower. The band to go down controlled, the band will fight you. The band will be like, come down faster, and you're going to fight it. And by doing that, it forces you to control the weight better.
You slowing down the barbell from going down, that creates a lot of tension. Remember, we talked about tempo. Again, you're putting the muscle under as much tension as possible throughout. So you're working it just as hard in the concentric and the eccentric. I'm using a red band, but what I tend to do is progress to a slightly harder band. Trust me, if you used to.
Okay, he's not explaining how much the band is, but that's okay.
Bicep curl, 80 kilos on the bar, the band would humble you real quick, and it forces you to actually focus more on the exercise in and tension, nice and controlled, every single rep. And what do I always say? Squeeze the muscle like it owes you money.
That's an idea a lot of people say. Definitely helps with mind-muscle connection, which is important. Not the most important thing, but it is important. Okay, so there is one issue I would like to say. It's a very tiny one. I would like his shoulders to be pulled down ever so slightly. He's doing pretty good at not letting his shoulders rise, but they are rising a little bit.
Okay, pyramid press, triceps. There's a reason it's called pyramid press. Some people call it star press. Try and keep your elbows in.
Star press. That's an interesting one. I've never heard that one either.
Performing the movement. Don't forget posture when doing this. Keep your core engaged. Nice and slowly down to the floor. I like my chest to touch my hands. Come up. Nice and slowly down. Push up.
Yeah, for the most part, this is like spot on, perfect form.
The key to this one is the tempo. Pyramid press is one that some people find easy, some people find difficult. If you find it hard to perform a pyramid press, do a elbows in push-up.
Elbows in is a lot better than a close grip push-up because you're not gripping on anything. So I think elbows in is a good name. I might start using that.
It's fine too. All the way down, push up, elbows in.
You get a different range of motion with this one because with the pyramid press or diamond push-up, your elbows aren't as high because your hands are in. But with this one, your elbows come up a little bit higher, your forearm's a bit straight, more perpendicular to the ground, and so you get a different range of motion. The obvious thing you could do from here is a planche push-up where your arm is straight with the ground and you are leaning forward. That one's very difficult. I'm not even great at it, but it's definitely an exercise that I would highly recommend if you can do it. I should really cover fitness FAQs. I really like his stuff, and I would like to share it with all of 1.5 people who watch this video.
Cable bicep curls. Some of you probably...
Another bicep curl variation. Of course, it's arm day. Curls are going to be a part of everyone's arm day. So yeah, let's see.
We look at this and thinking, why is he doing it this way? There's two reasons. When you come forward, it would force you to what? Shoulders back. So a lot of time when people do bicep curls, it's always like this, shoulders back. And the reason why I have this all the way back here is you cannot cheat with it. So a lot of time when people are doing it, it's this way. When you're here.
Okay, he's right, but he's wrong. That was exaggerated. But he is right, though. Like, a lot of people do swing a bit. I do. I don't mean to, but I do a little bit. Same thing with the incline curls. Because the weight is pulling your shoulders back, it makes it a bit harder to cheat and swing your arms and have your shoulders forward. So it's a way to force better form without focusing on better form.
You can't do that. So come forward, arms back. Keep your elbows closed, curl up. I like to pause for at least a second. Squeeze as hard as you can. Keep squeezing, all the way down. You notice I'm not going all the way here. There's no tension, it's relaxed. Okay, keep that tension. Up.
Okay, so both Ryan and him put a little too much emphasis on keeping tension. It's fine. It's not like a huge deal. It's not like something that's totally going to mislead you. It's not. It's just, it's probably not as important as they might push. I have to look into it. I haven't seen the research on it exactly, but yeah. Probably not as important as they're pushing.
Now, some of you already know what I mean by pinky curl. Come up, twist slightly, get more engagement on your bicep. And
I've never heard that cue. That's an interesting one. Okay. Let's keep going.
and down. Okay? And this one would destroy your ego because you probably could do a lot heavier when you come to do this with the tempo and the technique. If you get that correctly, you will not be as strong anymore. Tricep crossovers, one of my absolute favorites.
Tricep crossovers. I don't know how much I care for this one. It's not good or bad. I don't know how much I care for it.
For tricep. Now, normally with triceps, we tell you elbows in. This time, I prefer to do them elbows out. Chest up, shoulders back, elbows out. And then pull. Like the name says, it's a crossover, nice and controlled, coming back up. Okay, so not here, here, and up.
Fine exercise. I don't feel either way about it. It's just an exercise. I've never done this exercise personally, just because I've never had 2 cables free in a gym I've been to at once. Just how it be sometimes.
The trick with this one is, if you can do this, to help you keep those elbows out, flare out your lats, because that would help you maintain that form. You see the difference here when I flared out my lats? So for those of you that walk around like this is the perfect time to do that.
Yeah, for people with invisible lat syndrome. There's a lot of people like that out there. So, this might be their favorite exercise. It would be mine, but I don't have that syndrome. But it is fun to flare out your lats. Just like if you have decent sized lats, just do it. You'll feel what he's talking about. Good stuff.
A few things. One, when I give you the reps, so if I say 12, if I say 10, that's your 12 rep max. So if I put 12 reps, you should be failing at 11 or 10. If you do...
Okay, so he's talking about pretty much self-regulation. So if he says 12 rep max, that means you shouldn't be able to get to 12. Basically, that's like an RPE of 1 to 2, or reps in reserve of 1 to 2. So you should, wait, no. He's saying you shouldn't be able to get to 12. So that'd be an RPE of like 11. Bit interesting. That is pretty interesting. Okay, so that's like an RPE of like 11 to 12, which means you're failing before you get to the rep mark.
A set and you do more than 12, the next set, take that weight down. Secondly, make sure you keep a note of all the weights you do, because then the next session, when you
Wait, I missed what he said.
next set, take that weight down. Second rep max. So if I put 12 reps, you should be failing at 11 or 10. If you do a set and you do more than 12, the next set, take that weight down. Secondly,
Oh, I think he means take that weight down as in with the cable machine, moving the weight down. That would add more weight.
make sure you keep a note of all the weights you do, because then the next session, when you come to do the 12 rep max, guess what? You know what weight you should be doing for that session. So always use your first session with any program, a new program, to write all this down. So that would help you when you come back to carry on with the session.
Absolutely. Write down your stuff. Not too long ago, I guess it was kind of long ago, I started adding a little chart for all my clients to write in their reps and weight. The reason for that is not only so I could track it, but they could track it. It's very important to know, to like record what you're doing. If you're sticking to calisthenics and you can kind of remember in your head, that's fine. But when it comes to like weights and you have like a lot of exercises, write it down so you remember.
And secondly, with drop sets, when I put 10 times 10, people get confused. It means a drop set of 2. If I put 10 times 10 times 10.
Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus now bundled together. The greatest stories and characters, and tons of shows and movies.
That's great. We'll skip that.
So drop set.
Sorry, I'm a little bit on time crunch. Anyway, when he says 10 times 10, that's a drop set of 2. That's interesting.
Of 3. What that means is 10 rep max, drop the weight, try and get to 10. You shouldn't be able to. So that's the one thing a lot of people get confused
I hope he explains that in his actual programs, because I can see that being very confusing.
by. So I thought I'd explain that now, which leads me directly into saying, if you want more awesome workouts, check out my Obi Vincent app, my CrossLifter app. It's got some awesome workouts. It's a mixture of bodybuilding and conditioning, basically the way I...
You know what? He's talking about his thing. Again, just a reminder, I started working with this company called Kickoff. I'm one of the coaches now. So if you want to work with them, it's a little bit cheaper than working with me directly. So you could go through that, train with me on there. If you get to it and it's like, oh, this price is crazy, let me know, because I have heard there's some slight issues with the app. Very slight, not big ones. And I'll get you that right price. Yes, I'm using his ad to push my ad. But yeah, that's what I do now. Also, I have personal coaching in the description as well. It's a little more expensive, but I think it's worth the extra money. So if you want something a little cheaper, kick off. If you want something a little more expensive but a little better, come to me. Also, I sell individual programs. If you don't want coaching, you just want a custom program, that's also on my coaching website. So head there, please and thank you. All right, let's keep going. Also, if you want to train with Obi, go train with Obi. Right? I like his stuff. I don't think his stuff's bad. I don't agree with everything, but I like it. I endorse him. Go for it. Pick me, but if you want to go with him, go with him.
train. So I call myself a CrossLifter, bodybuilding, I do some CrossFit, some conditioning, some functional training, athletic style training. So yeah, check out the app. It's only $1 for your first month.
Oh wow, that's way cheaper than anything I'm offering. So if you want to go there, it's pretty cheap for your first month. Incline hammer curls. Like I said, the benefits are it forces you to have good form. It's not really any better than a standing one. Well, you get a different range of motion, but it's not like that much better, but it does force you to have better form, which is usually a pretty good thing. Lots of music. Gotta pause again because the music. I think one of these videos I'll kind of write down like how to program for yourself. It'll just be like, I'll probably have like a Google Docs open and I'll explain to you how I go about the process, and maybe you could do it for yourself. Ooh, I like that one. Although I would prefer his elbows tucked in a little bit, but that's actually pretty hard to do. Like, yeah, I'm not sure why, but it's a little hard to tuck those elbows in for this. Now there's a lot of music.
Incline hammer curls, pretty simple. If you notice with every single one of my arm movements, I take away the swinging. I remove that unless the exercise warrants it. So there's some times when you can do some swinging. If you're doing negatives, that's fine. But that's not what this workout is. Shoulders back, chest up, keep your elbows in.
Negatives is basically you're focusing on the down portion of an exercise. It's extremely hypertrophic. But obviously you have to get the weight up to get it like to work the down position. So you'll see like swinging. If you're doing push-up negatives, they might step on a chair, get up there, then not push-up, pull-up negatives. You might step on a chair, get up, go down. You might use bands. You have a myriad of options.
And remember, when you come up, squeeze as hard as you can, come down to keep that tension. With overhead extensions, this is something that I like to do. Doing this, because this is what a lot of people do. You don't want to do that. So arms back. So by being on the edge of the bench, it forces you to have your arms back here.
I would not recommend this if you have like kind of bad shoulders like me. Like, bring your elbows up a little bit. Just saying.
Make sure you're nice and stable, brace your core, and then extend down. Try and keep your elbows in when performing the movements.
Yeah, he can't even get his elbows all the way in. It's just a difficult thing to do with these kinds of movements. Some people could do it like keep the elbows all the way in. Some people, they keep it mostly in.
That really would then make sure that you are actually working your triceps more. I also, in my previous arm videos, you notice sometimes I use the preacher curl bench to perform overhead extensions as well. It's another good idea because again, it forces you to have your arms back here rather than here. Remember, tempo is key. We're not just doing this to finish the 10 reps or the 12 reps. We're doing this to actually work the muscle. Yes, you should be counting your reps, but train with a purpose. That's the whole point.
Again, tempo isn't actually as important as everyone likes to think. The best benefits of tempo is that it shows that you have control of the weight. Have control of the weight, you'll probably get more out of it. You could obviously go fast under, under control, going fast. But if you have tempo, you'll probably have to do less reps than if you're going fast. So there are benefits and disadvantages, but they're not like growth benefits per se. They might be convenience benefits to keeping tempo. And also like, control. So I guess that's a bit of a growth benefit.
And I do bodybuilding anyway. It's about how much do you feel you've worked the muscle you're actually meant to be training.
Her kicks suck. I know this is in the background, but I have to talk about it because it's there. Obi, you're doing great. This lady, what are you doing? Like, what is this? Is this a push kick? Okay, number one, bring that foot up and then push. 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 Right? What you're doing here, I don't know what you're doing here. Number two, snap that arm back. Snap it. Get your other one in the guard and snap that back. Snap it and then snap it forward. What's the other? Yeah, same foot, I think. For kicking, not for running. I'm so disappointed.
And not how heavy you can go.
That wasn't even a push. You just tapped it. You're terrible, lady. Awful. Just fucking awful.
Because sometimes some people are too fixated on numbers.
She did it again. She did that shit again. Did you see that? That's fucked up. She's not even getting anything out of her. I mean, I guess she's active, but still. Bad push kick. Terrible.
Now, in saying that, when I talk about numbers, yes, it's not about numbers. However, we do progressive overload. That's the whole point of bodybuilding. Hence why I give you drop set.
No, that's not the whole point of bodybuilding. That's the whole point of all training, especially weight training. So,
Supersets, triple sets even. Now, yes, you probably do want to get stronger in terms of taking the weight up. Absolutely. However, if your form is out of whack, then what's the point in going up a weight? So,
well, the point is to make yourself feel better about yourself, but he's absolutely right. If you form shit and you just increase weight, you're not helping yourself. In fact, you're probably just increasing your chance of injury, and it will catch up with you eventually. Now, some people, they get really strong with really shitty form, and that's absolutely fine. A lot of people will see some deadlifters, like deadlift with the rounded back, and they will be like, oh my God, you're going to hurt yourself. But they're like deadlifting like 800 pounds. Easy. A big part of it is you get strong the way you train. So if you train like shit, you'll get strong training like shit. So proper form is very, very important. But understand that some people are just kind of built a little bit differently. Not everyone's Mike Israel with ultra technical form. And despite what people might say about that, it's still very impressive. Then you have some people with less technical form, and people might criticize them as well. But if they're very strong, your point falls on deaf ears a little bit.
yes, track the weight you use, but make sure that you're not compromising form. Okay, check your ego at the door when you walk into the gym.
Okay, another curl, cable curl, single arm, good stuff. Good range of motion. He has great range of motion on all of these exercises, by the way. I really appreciate that.
I love doing them on the cable machine, and I just find them a lot more comfortable. And also
ADR after recording, interesting.
the weight during the eccentric, if you control that, it allows you to maintain that same tension on the eccentric as well as the concentric. Okay, so try and control it all the way down. Rest your armpits on the head of the bench. Yes, that's a bit disgusting, but you can wipe.
It's very disgusting. I mean, I don't know. Is it really disgusting? I mean, you sweat out of your whole body. It just might smell worse, but it's not. It's probably not any more disgusting than any other part of your body. I mean, it's less disgusting than your asshole, and people put that shit everywhere, so.
Wipe it down after. Rest your armpits down on the bench. Try and rest your triceps on that bench too. So the only thing moving.
I like how he's walking around and he seems a little aimless. I'm sorry. People just in the gym are kind of funny.
Really, again, this. Now, why do I like to do Jeffersons? Is because guess what? You can't do what?
You can't swing. He really likes to force good form, which is good. It's absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that.
swing. It won't allow you. That means you're now focusing on the bicep and not your ego. Okay, so again at the top, squeeze the muscle like it owes you money. Yes, the t-shirt's coming soon. I need to put that on the t-shirt, and then you can walk around with.
You really do need to put that on a t-shirt because you say it a lot. You say it a lot in your videos.
With it. And finally, don't forget. Remember that little pinky thing I tell you about, pinky curl. So it's going to be hard for you to do that with the handle, but that's fine. If you do it, so you can see exactly what happens when I do that. You see the difference there? So that's normal. And then when you come up here, just see that extra contraction and then control it down.
Oh my God. Okay, this is the last exercise. This is a long workout. Overhead tricep extensions with a rope. Absolutely fine. Like the exercise. Yeah, not much to say about it. Cables are always great. Consistent tension all the way through. He could try to get his elbows a little bit more inward, but it's not a huge deal. You see, here's what happens when we have a good video. We get through it really fast because there's not much for me to say. I can't explain why this is wrong, and he does a very good job explaining why he's doing this. But I am not just watching the video. I do want to comment on it because I think this is pretty solid. Lots of music. We gotta pause for the music. By the way, music choices for today have been pretty good, so that's always good.
Overhead extensions. These are always weird to get into, so however you find comfortable. If you don't really like the whole interaction, you can actually do this on the bench. Grab onto the weight, sit down, and do the overhead extensions with.
Oh no, the mic.
Holding onto the rope. Almost create a wide shape at the top. So usually you come up here.
Oh yeah, you can tell it's a lot worse. I wonder what happened.
A wide shape just to get that extra bit of contraction on the tricep. Squeeze. Slowly down. Up. Okay, that usually will give you just a little bit more contraction on your tricep.
So he wants you to like lock out for this one. Okay, good stuff. Again, full range of motion is always something I approve of.
Sometimes I always say keep it simple, and that's as simple as I explain that, if it makes sense. And that's the workout. We're done. My arms, I'm pretending that they're fine. It's not.
Let's see what this is like. All right, I think that says 16. I can't. Let's see. 16 EMOM, basically every minute on the minute. So you have a set amount of work. You do that work, and you want to get done as fast as possible, because the sooner you get done, the more rest you get. So at the top of a minute, you start your little circuit, and at the end of them, and when you're done, you rest. And you have the whole rest of that minute to rest, and then it starts again where you go again. So every minute on the minute. So for 16 minutes, he's going through a little circuit all the way through. He stops, and say he finishes in 45 seconds. He has 15 seconds to rest, and then when 2 minutes starts, he goes again. I don't know what this is. I've seen this in CrossFit. I don't really know what it is. But it looks interesting. Oh, ski ergometer. Okay, that makes sense. It's so what an ergometer is. It's like a machine that mimics a type of sport, I guess. So you know your exercise bikes. That's a cycling ergometer. You're riding a bike. You're just on a machine that's not going anywhere. A rowing machine. That's another ergometer. This is another one, but instead of like rowing or biking, it's like skiing. So I didn't know that. That's really cool. I don't know what GTOH is, but I know it's a clean and overhead press. So, whatever. It's a dumbbell clean and jerk, to be more specific. All right, that's the end of the video. Yeah, I think that was really good. Again, here's all of his stuff. Bloop. Let's go to Obi. Now, if you want to subscribe to Obi Vincent, I'm not looking at that. This is his channel. He does vlogs. He does other stuff. Apparently, he's in New York. So if you're in New York, go find him and harass him. I'm kidding. Don't do that. But he lives in London. So I knew he was British. I knew it. But yeah. So British man doing British things. Go check him out. If you want coaching by him, I'm pretty sure his links are in his video. So go check that out. Stop that. Yeah. He has sponsors. He has his training app and ebooks, which I'm working on an ebook. But yeah, if you want to see his, go check it out. Really cool stuff. Anyway, let's go ahead and pop up the screen. All right, so that is everything. We got done kind of early. Yeah, good videos. They don't take nearly as long to get through. Humiston, I don't think it was the worst one. Obviously, if we did like Holly Dolk, that would take forever. But I'm thinking more of my audience will probably be men, or males at least. So I do want to gear that a little bit towards that. But I will cover women's stuff sometimes. And some people's workouts apply to men and women. Doesn't matter what they are. But yeah, I'm trying to rebrand a little bit, just so I can like probably get more attention. But yeah, if you're looking for any of my stuff, my LinkedIn, I don't have a Twitter because Twitter is awful. My Instagram, my LinkedIn, my Instagram, my blog, all on my website in the description. You could my coaching on Kickoff is in the description. Go check that out. Maybe train with me on that. It's a little bit easier for to train with me on that, since it is an app and I usually run everything through Google Docs. So you could go through that. You're helping me out there. It's just not as directly. It's like watching stuff on YouTube, or like being a Twitch subscriber or YouTube member. You're giving money, but it's not really like you're giving money to YouTube and the creator gets a part of it, rather than like a Patreon where they get most of it. So if you want to trade with me for a little bit lower of a price, Kickoff has all the stuff on it. It's a lot less involved. If you want to train with me directly, that's on my website. Both are in the description. I have a merch store. I just have cool stuff. Some people like it, some people don't. That's another way you can support me. You can go check out my blog. I put up good stuff. I'm putting up the first intro and segment of my ebook that I'm working on. It should be done pretty soon. I try to work on it every day. And, you know, the ebook will be done soon. It'll be free for everyone. I'll probably just give it out. Might put a link in it and everything so you can have it. But yeah, that's the show. I'm hoping to do this again regularly. It might not be on Sundays. It might just be any day of the week. I'll just cover some stuff. I think either next time or the time after, I really want to do a show that's just about how I program, how I build my programs. Maybe you could get something out of it or not. It's up to you. So, yeah, that's it. I'll see you later. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you.